Alright, and we are recording. I'm just going here and start the time. So yeah, I loaded from a save. Yeah. I don't even know if I'm gonna want it, but I want it. That makes sense. You really on? A little bit better, I guess. Where the hell am I going? I think I'm still in here, aren't I? I mean, like I said, I was gone for dinner. Okay. Well, like I said at the end of the previous... At some point in the previous recording, I did explain that I had to stop because I was going to dinner. And hang on just... I wanted to move the mic back. It was a little forward. I'm gonna take care of the... I can. There we go. And I honestly have no memory of this. Even though I did all of this just earlier today, this afternoon. And oh my god, I was curious and wanted to look. What's the next map per number? I wrote out a list so I can use it for the thumbnails. And I was curious, what are we looking at for that? It's 2 hours and 2.5 hours long. That's predicted. I'm not. I'll put in some time. It may sound weird or seem weird, but I do want to always complete the game. I mean, just. It's important to me. It genuinely is kind of important because not every place that makes videos from games will do the complete game. Then also, fairly often they're not sharing the complete recordings either. That is something that makes me a little different from some. Not all. Plenty, I'm sure, do share the whole thing. But a lot of places will do editing of one kind or another. I don't. And that... Yeah, looks like that. Yeah, I'm okay. You saw like how my whole keeping the Monday, Thursday, and now also Tuesday schedules all this time is something else that's a point of pride for me. Yeah. Because even though I haven't tested, I think it is still faster to just drop this off here for disposal later and pick up another one than to go all the way around to actually dispose of it and then back. At least I did think of something that I can talk about. So there's a rumor, which I don't exactly know how much of a rumor it really is, that that AMD will put out a 64-core Threadripper. So what I have is a 16-core Threadripper, and when I got it, it's a 1950X. That was the most that was available. Now, when they went to the 2000 series, they did release the 2990 WX. That is 32 cores. Where's though some of the cores are not do not have direct connections to the memory. I don't know why I keep doing that. Whereas all of mine do, but anyway, it's like that AMD would make a 64-core Threadripper isn't really surprising because Threadripper is physically identical to the EPYC processor, which had already been shown off as, yeah, those are going to... I don't... Oh wait, no, this is the right path. Oh, no, it isn't, no. But it's fine. I'm getting fast enough. They are, physically identical, so the fact that we saw that the EPYCs could have 8 chiplets, and each chiplet can have 8 cores on them. 2 CCXs, both 4 cores each. 8 times 8, 64. We know they can do 64 cores. The thing that's really of any interest to the rumor is just that it may be coming this year. Now, I don't know if I would actually even want to try. I mean, for one thing, it would be expensive, and I don't have the money for it. But I don't know how valuable 64 cores would be to me. I mean, it's like 16 cores. I'm doing everything I need, everything I want. I was like, the only improvement would be that, oh, well, now I'd be able to do all the recordings using X264 at slow, and I could also be doing the re-encoding at the same time, and be having a virtual machine running, doing whatever the hell else. I mean, it's like, I don't actually need all. And that one's ours. I'm not going to come back this way. The tunnels are done. I am going to take the elevator to bring the things up and do that section. Wait. Yep. Although that's true, I now have spent buckets. I should actually get rid of those. Just to ease any confusion from me. One. I'm trying. Did I? Yeah, that's filthy. I have not. Into. But yeah, it's like 64 cores and 20 threads. And in a rumor suggests that that Zen 3, or was it Zen 4? I think it's Zen 3. It's supposed to get a new version of SMT, simultaneous multi-threading, that may enable a total of 4 threads per core, which would be insane. Since that would be like the 16-core 32-thread processor I would suddenly become, with that would be a 16-core 64-thread. I mean, it makes some sense that, because from my understanding, which isn't necessarily correct, for how things like that work is because of how advanced, how complicated these cores are, that you just are basically saying that, yeah, these threads can make use of those resources that these other threads aren't. And also, it's basically better internal scheduling, better use of resource, which, yeah, can definitely have a huge impact, positive impact. But it's just, I mean, like that, 64 cores, that would be what, 256 threads in total? That just crazy. It's like, as it is, you could potentially do with a 32 core. You could have 16 cores, 32 threads, like I have now, and then two 8-core, 16-thread virtual machines running all on the same machine. I already know that 16 cores, 32 threads is enough to do multiple X264 encoding streams, with a bunch of audio tracks too. That, I'm like, the idea that you could potentially have one machine allow for the simultaneous recording of two clients on it that are also 8-core, 16-thread, it's like, that's insane. But real. Real as in realistic, not real as in I or anyone to my knowledge has ever done it. I'd want to, though, if I had a reason to. Oh, thought I might have a little more on that. This is now dead, I believe. Oh, it already is dead. Somewhere out of the way. I don't know what I'd want to do. Because on the one hand, it's like, yeah, I don't need 64 cores, but if it's like, okay, that's also the highest clocking, it's like, well, I do want the clock speed. Because that'll help with the gaming. And, in general, the encoding. So, hopefully I will be able to afford such the thread of CPUs at the time that they come out. At least it should work out that they'd be able to just drop in. And actually, that is one thing that, now that I think about it, is important, and that we can make certain predictions on from the new consumer parts. That because the 3950X 16 cores, 32 threads on the AM4 platform is within 105, has a TDP of 105 watts. Then with Threadripper, you'd think that you would be able to do, keep a reasonable TDP there, like the TDP of the original Threadripper parts, like the 1950X I have, was 180 watts. And I think 2990WX might have been able to stay kind of near that. It's really only when you overclock it that it's like, oh my god, suddenly you need a new motherboard. So yeah, it's like, I would be able to drop in a new Ryzen Threadripper 3000 series whenever those come out. I mean, we'll just have to see. Man, it'll be glorious to see what those things will be capable of. even without being able to get one. Yeah, as far as CPUs go, we are in a good time. GPUs, not so much. I mean, it's like just not seeing that much innovation. At least not yet. It's like, I'm sorry, ray tracing is not innovative when it's old. The fact that we're finally getting hardware acceleration, it's like, okay, yes, that is significant. Unfortunately, it's currently not being all that impressive. I mean, it's like, I've seen, oh yeah, there's this, I might need more bucket. Metro Exodus with ray tracing on, and I've seen Shadow Tomb Raider with ray tracing on. Shadow Tomb Raider, actually, that was kind of neat, but also kind of limited, and the level which was neat was medium, not high, or ultra. Couldn't tell you what ultra was doing compared to high that would all be worth it. Oh hey, another thing. I knew I was close, I wasn't sure how far I had. But it's like the GTX 1070 and 1080 were able to handle. The ray tracing. It's like, well, I guess the RT cores are not as needed as you think. I mean, true, you need them for high, but it's like, well, high didn't really seem to bring too much aside from, technically speaking, it's more impressive, but it had issues, so I wasn't impressed. And AMD is not tipping their hand as to what their ray tracing solution is, and as far as Navi, because that has been, by the time this video comes out, it will have long been reviewed already. Because those are coming out on July 7th, so they'd be reviews July 7th. At the latest of the early. That does make sense somehow. Okay, I think. Yeah. It's like the AMD would have samples going out, so they would be reviews of on July 7th at the latest. In theory, they could have them up early. It depends. And it made me more impressed. I'm not significantly impressed by what has been announced and such at E3, which only ended the week that I'm recording this. I mean, that's not to say it doesn't seem like it's good. It's just, and I don't doubt that they're good. I'm not gonna rush to try to get one, but it's like I've gotten to the point where I recognize that, yeah, I'm running an RX 580 and it does everything I need to. I don't need the RX 5700 or 5700 XT. It would be nice to have one, but it's not needed. I think I'd want to wait to see. And also, I do have this theory. And it's funny, I actually should have mentioned this in something that I did earlier today, but forgot. Not something from this, but let me see. I'm just trying to think, when will this video happen? Okay, that's it. This is full. This will come out in August. So by then, NVIDIA would have had its response. AMD would not have done anything again to respond back yet. Well, actually, no. Maybe they would, because August would have back-to-school sales. It's possible that they would have some price drops there. Oh yeah, still need to clean up and But my... The hell? You son of a bitch. My hope is that right now 7nm that is being used for Navi and being used for the Ryzen 3000 series and will be used for the new Epics, the new server chips, it is just... And I saw someone else also make the point that it may just be there's so much production on 7nm that that's part of the reason Navi is more expensive than many would like it to be. I mean, it's not out of line expensive, it's just you want it to be cheaper. It's just that kind of expensive. Oh yeah. But it is a new node. It's not going to be a cheap node. 7nm is not going to... Not yet. Because it just the way it's made, it's the way it works, it's not going to be cheap. That may change, though, when we get to TSMC's 7nm Plus or Samsung's 7nm, because those will be using a different process technology. Called Extreme Ultraviolet. Basically, it's simpler to use. It's simpler to implement than what is currently being used. So that will allow prices to come down. But yeah, my hope is that, like, as the year goes on, we will see Navi come down in price, and maybe also, maybe also the Ryzen stuff. Those are already priced pretty aggressively, so I don't know about the CPUs. They very well may come down in price. It's just I could believe them not shifting. Although that'll also depend on which you're talking about. Like, I could see the 12-core even dropping in price. Maybe, well, yeah, I could see in August there being sales on it. Not a permanent price drop, though, since September is when 16-core drops, and $500 for the 12-core, $750 for the 16-core. That's a fair differentiation. You know, we'll need to increase that. And they're not, I don't think they would drop the already announced price. They could, I don't think it's very likely. I've never really known a company to ever do something like that. It's like, yeah, we said it would be this much. No, we decided to drop it. It's possible. It is possible. Just I doubt. But by then, if I am correct, and it is that, you know, Navi's just not cheap to produce by virtue of being 7nm, then I could believe that it could have a permanent price drop around then. Plus, there's also expectation that there is a larger Navi die by then. Well, a larger Navi die that has been designed and may be coming to be available around then. And that would be a good time for the pricing to come down. Okay, so this, I think, has one more. Hang on, let me... Okay. This is spent. Let's see. Damn it, I missed. Well, that is definitely... I'm gonna drop this. Put the ticket in the elevator. Gonna grab the PID. Jump down. Here. Where is it? There it is. what I'm doing will make... Didn't realize I left something down. Yeah, so I could see that around then, if there is enough room for the price to come down, that's when it might happen. Some are speculating that Navi's just costing so much because Nvidia proved that they could charge more for GPUs of that class of performance. And if that is true, that it's just they are charging more because they can and not because there's a need to, that they are in fact more expensive, shit, then Nvidia will respond by dropping pricing. And it would be too soon for AMD to do the same, because it's like you don't immediately drop the price of something just out. That looks very bad. Like it should not have been priced that high to begin with. But August, back to school sales, you can make a price drop permanent then, safely. Alright. I got a little confused as to what it was. We'll see. I mean, I am not really expecting much innovation from NVIDIA as part of it, because it seems like their innovation is always on lines of how can we make something that will make us look good and make us money, whereas AMD, while yes it is true that that's going to be there, it never seems quite so blatant. It's like NVIDIA, they are like, hey, we've developed this new technology, even if it actually isn't new. Like they say, first GPU with hardware accelerated ray tracing, then people point out, no, actually that was somebody else that managed that. And it's true that there was one already. It was actually for a mobile GPU. I'm completely serious. There was a mobile GPU with hardware accelerated ray tracing prior to NVIDIA's RTX stuff. But it's like NVIDIA says this, and while some people are like, oh, you're so wonderful, other people are like, yeah, except that it's going to cripple performance and actually not necessarily look all that good. It's like that's the expectation that a lot of people have for NVIDIA stuff. That's not healthy for NVIDIA, but they get away with it. AMD, it's like, you know, yeah, they come up with something that's really good, people ignore it, and it's, you know, AMD has a better reason to be the ethical choice, I guess would be one way to try describing it. You know, like they are doing it because it's a good thing to do, so they're going to have it be open source, they're going to have it be free to use, and they're going to have it be just try to be very, very good performing, because that's a reputation that is positive for them. NVIDIA's reputation of being kind of slimy with certain things is set. That's not going to change. Why would they bother trying to? It's like that would take probably new management, and why would they change their management as well? I mean, it's kind of how the reality is. So AMD can definitely do things to try to make more money, but they are also going to try to be careful with some of it so that they are making it in certain ways. There. I know what I need to do. And, well, yeah, this... I need to bring up a bit. I have no idea where the loading zones are. I don't care. I want to get out of this level. And on to the next one that's going to take just as long. But yeah, and it's... AMD can't be assholes because it's not what their reputation is, and it's a reputation that's, you know, kind of worth trying to preserve. They can push towards it, but it's dangerous for them. Whereas Nvidia's kind of already knows assholes, so what the hell do they care? I mean, it's like AMD was the first to come up with a solution for applying tessellation to hair. It's called Tress Effect. They did that first. And one of the first games that came out with it was Tomb Raider from, was that 2014 or 2013? I don't remember now. And, but they did that, and when it was seen that it wasn't performing all that well on even NVIDIA GPUs, what happened? Well, AMD worked with the developers, and it actually, including to make it run better on all hardware, not just their own. NVIDIA made their Hairworks that does the same thing, but it's their closed source solution. And when it's discovered in The Witcher 3 that it really just hurts performance on everything, including NVIDIA GPUs, with the exception of the two newest, the GTX 970 and GTX 980, what did NVIDIA do? They tried to blame the developers, and then the developers were like, no, we can't optimize it because it's closed source from NVIDIA, and NVIDIA kind of had to acknowledge that, okay, yeah, we'll make changes so that you can actually change settings and have it not cripple performance as badly. It's like, that's the truth of it. And so yeah, AMD is gonna want to maintain that reputation of we try to just make things better, and Nvidia has the reputation of just trying to make you want their stuff, only their stuff, and then lock you in. It's not a great thing, but it's how they do it, and it works for them. Yeah. So it's... Wow, I think that might actually be done now. Hopefully I'm not putting these all in the wrong spot. Now then... Yeah, it's on this side. Isn't it? Where'd I put it? Oh. Buy it. But yeah, so... And AMD is coming back to that whole thing, because it's something to talk about at least. I'm not gonna be able to get on there. Oh, that's... With Navi, they're definitely doing improvements, but it may take more than just what we currently have. But what has currently been announced. It may take more than just this one version of Navi before we see all the changes people like to have in there. And, having to wait isn't fun, but you gotta do. Although also one thing though that some people have brought up that is potentially very, very interesting is that AMD has a reputation of, and it's not as deserved as, I mean, it while not incorrect, is not necessarily as deserved as people treat it, for using a lot of power and running hot. It's like, well, NVIDIA's also been guilty of that. It's sadly, it kind of works out to, you know, whenever it's NVIDIA that is suffering from it, then it's, you make the jokes, but you don't care about it. Whereas when it's AMD, it's, you know, just, it's impossible for them to ever overcome it. Which is factually wrong, but anyway, one thing, well, they're doing two things to try, that may help with the efficiency of the GPU. And something to note about GPU power efficiency is that it's normally something they don't care about in the desktop space, because the users don't. That could have been very bad. It's like, yeah, you do want to use less power generically, but it's, most people don't really care how much it's being used. It's like this stuff I will care about. But it's like, you know, you can undervolt AMD GPUs. I'm sure you can do the same with NVIDIA, but you can undervolt AMD GPUs and get seriously improve their power efficiency. I think, is that one right there? Ah, it's back. Oh no, there's still something. Yeah, let me get rid of it. I don't know if it matters, but I still feel like getting rid of it. Oh, right there. But CPUs are where you care more about power efficiency. And part of that is also, I saw this explained recently for me, be a while ago for you, that it's so much easier to control power usage for a GPU than a CPU, so it matters more for a CPU, because it's like, well, you know, for a game, you know what the kind of load is, and you can do things about it. Okay, trigger. You know, just out of curiosity. Okay. I might need to destroy these. And then clean up the soot. No, I'll go through and do that, but it's not the thing. I need to wash this off. Also may need to grab a bin. I don't care, I'm gonna keep going. I really have no idea what might be here. But oh, it's all of this. Okay. See, I didn't know. Part of the point of the sniffer, though, to help you figure that stuff out. Yeah, that's what's going on there. All right. Unfortunately, well, sort of. It's gonna be a pain to take care of all this. Oh crap. This is probably the reason why it's gonna be a pain. Because of how much fire there's gonna be. This is that hole. Need to find more of the egg. That way. Should be up, right? Yeah. Try to be careful this time. Unfortunately, once you have the fire, it goes. But the other thing that I saw talked about with the concerning the GPU efficiency that is definitely interesting is the AMD and Samsung have entered into a partnership. It's like what Samsung wants demands greater efficiency, and because they want for mobile, and you need power efficiency there. But also, AMD had moved over one of their, well, at least one of their CPU guys, and CPU you care more about that stuff, about power efficiency. So yeah, it's like this could be very interesting, and also. I can't remember where it was that made the point that Samsung tends not to license. It's like it's not semi-custom work that AMD would be doing, where it's like Samsung is just buying parts from AMD. And at the same time, AMD isn't going to just say, oh yeah, here, you can just have access to our stuff. So, no, they're gonna want more control than that. So it's very likely that they will in fact be working together to achieve some stuff that, well, it would have to be power efficient. I kind of like reusing the bin. Fortunately, the burn stuff will not leave marks anyway. So we could end up seeing coming, I mean, it could take a while though, that AMD could have much more power efficient GPUs in the future, in part because of that partnership. That would be pretty neat. Because they've not had very power efficient for a while. But part of the reason for that people will forget is it's because they've had so much compute silicon there. It's like GCN is a very, very powerful, especially for compute architecture. That's what they've had for a long time, and it's, you know, you have to power that stuff. And that's part of why it was annoying. And moving around so many buckets again. But even then, even if AMD were to achieve significantly better power efficiency, I don't think many people would care. And I mean that as kind of an insult to that many people. That it's like, you know, because even when AMD has had the better performing GPUs, the more efficient GPUs, it didn't matter, they bought NVIDIA. There. It's like that is a sad state of technology. You can stay there. Because that one is already starting to show its dirt. Yeah. Just I just wanted somewhere I could set it down and know it's not going to spit. That's really close. Yeah, I mean, at least for AMD on the CPU side, they've managed to sway a lot of people. But part of that is also just a perfect storm for them. It's like not only did they manage to come up with something that allows them to beat Intel on a core count and have still very good performance, but they also managed to do so at a time that Intel was having significant foundry troubles, not being able to move to their next node, their 10 nanometer one, and because of that, they couldn't keep up. Intel's struggling to keep up with demand. Wow, this is already wasted. No, going wrong. This. It's like that's very good for AMD, and also they are, as of July 7th, in consumer parts going to be ahead of Intel, which has never happened. A process node. Intel has always been in the lead. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. Hard to say how long that'll last, though. Since Intel will get, I mean, they technically are shipping 10 nanometer parts. It's just they're like only certain parts, and they're parts that aren't necessarily performing that well. In some ways, like a mobile CPU, so it also has GPU there, but the GPU is disabled. It's like, what? This is not impressive at all. That's what they got. But yeah, it's just it has been delayed, and then it finally have it, and apparently it's not that great. So some, I think, are just taking it as, yeah, they're just pumping it out so that they can say that they have it and satisfy some of the schedules when telling their stockholders how things are going. Like, they can say, yes, we were shipping it in this quarter. Doesn't necessarily mean it was in volume, but they were shipping. Ah. Okay, I think that's dead now. And one thing also that will be interesting is next CES. So that should be, in theory, after the next... You would think Big Navi would be out by then, but like CES 2020 is when Intel may be revealing their GPUs, which could be very interesting, also might not be. It's hard to say. Because it's also, you don't know exactly how they're approaching. I mean, chances are they're only in the GPU business. They've only decided to enter it because things like machine learning, because that really, really likes the highly parallelized capabilities of GPU. But it's also Intel will be making discrete graphics cards too. But part of that is also for it's another market, so it's another way that they can potentially make money. But it's also, it can be helpful to be able to, say that we're in these machines and those machines. Like the fact that NVIDIA has the RTX 2080 Ti, most powerful single graphics card you can get today. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have any bearing on the Quadros or Teslas, the server stuff and data center stuff, but as far as what you can expect for performance, but the fact that they have it is still... The fact that they have such a Halo product is still positive for it. I think that's dead. I think I've also cleaned up pretty well with it, so... It's hard to tell if it's shadow or sun. But yeah, oh, there's more right there. Alright. And, I mean, I'll admit, I'd be willing to give an Intel GPU a try. I don't know how much I'd be willing to pay for one. Gonna you there, miss? We'll need a wash off the mop. There's stuff around. Do I have one over here? Yes, I do. Ah. I need to go up a floor. footprint. I have no idea what might be there, but I'm covering it. And it still thinks this. Should be That was it. That little speck of blood. It's gonna guess it's bars again. Acting like there's something else. Oh, it might be picking up the bucket down there. Alright. There. Just that, just to make sure. Gonna get rid of the bucket. Where's it? So right there. It would be a bad idea. Let's get this. Alright, I'm gonna check out now. And yeah, I'll start working on the next one. Even though I'll almost definitely then need to split it between 2 days. Aliens. I don't know. I'll go with homicide though. There. I would not be surprised if I did not get 100% on this. Would not surprise me. Still promoted though. $95. I'm good with that. I honest and truly am good with that. Okay. Yes. I don't know how to get from the office to a new job. I don't. Getting a drink of water. Oh, that's better. 2013 to 2018. Alright, well. Alt tab. Yeah, so the heart rate just went up now because of the drinking water, I'm sure. I don't know why that happens, but it happens. Alright, so I will be starting Penumbra next, which is probably going to take me 4 hours again. Hey, at least I'm going to have so many weeks of content, which is valuable to me because then it means I've got weeks that I can do other things I need. Alright, see you next time.